Sanjay Jha, let me come to you first. Why would Raj Babbar and Rashid Masood make these remarks in the first place? Quite besides the insensitivity of the remarks, they are factually entirely incorrect. You can't get anything in Jama Masjid for 5 rupees, and you certainly cannot get a proper meal in Mumbai for 12 rupees.
Vishnu, I think you're slightly 24 hours behind schedule on this particular content, because end of day, I think you've already heard the Congress official position. So I don't think debating the personal observations of a couple of leaders really changes the context of the discussion. So I think that is already behind us. The point that I would like to make
is it really behind us? Sanjay, I'm sorry to interrupt, but is it really behind us if there are a huge political reactions across the country? Online, the Congress party is being slammed for these remarks. How can you say just distancing themselves from these remarks is enough for the Congress? Why would these leaders, responsible leaders, including a spokesperson of your party, actually make a remark like this in the first place?
Well, let me tell you.
Yes.
I mean, if Mr. Raj Babbar or Mr. Masood or Mr. Farooq Abdullah have had any access to food or anything in their personal experience, that is for them to answer, which is exactly what Renuka Chaudhary today categorically stated. But let me just put one fundamental point here, because your headline for today's discussion, Vishnu, says the poverty numbers are, or that's what you're alluding to, are suspect. You can discuss this, but after this opening statement, you can ask anybody whatever they like. Over the last 9 years that UPA has been basically administering India, for 4 years, we have reached almost 9.5% GDP growth rate. In other years, it's been also significant. Last 2 years, it's been 6.5, 6.2, and around 5%.
We are struggling at 5%
now,
GDP
it is
growth
common
now,
sense.
Sanjay, I mean,
it is common. No, let me tell you, over a 9 year. Yes, the poverty estimation is over an 8-year period, Vishnu. So now when you look at the fundamentals, an economy which is growing at such a furious pace, are we surprised that poverty has come down? Not at all. This is the government that has spent the maximum of any government on social welfare. We have also improved deliveries. So a combination of high GDP, a combination of good social welfare allocations like Manrega, and better delivery systems leading to a reduction in poverty. By the way, on the same statistical measure of Mr. Suresh Tundalkar's poverty line, that is the standard measure.
Yeah, so we'll debate the merits of that number.
So the reduction, one last point.
Yeah.
So the reduction of 137 million people moving out of the poverty line is a moment for us to feel proud as a nation, where poverty has been a challenge. Here we are I have actually had BJP spokespeople actually contesting a planning commission and NSSO figure.
No, we'll get into that debate later, but
sure.
But Lalita Kumar Mangalam, does that response satisfy you? Because what he's saying is that, look, there's a larger issue over here. The Congress has distanced itself from these remarks. Let's move on. Why just focus on this? But my initial question was, how can two apparently responsible leaders make these statements in the first place?
No, let me just interrupt here.
Let Lalita answer. Let Lalita make a point and I'll come back to you, Sanjay. Lalita, go ahead.
Who's a potential leader of his party use terms like puppy? How can a leader who's a potential leader of his party talk about burqa of secularism? It's the same answer. Somebody has to explain. Let the individuals explain it.
So that justifies anything
but what have
or a completely different context. Completely okay. All right. That was a bit of a barb over there, Sanjay. But Lalita, go ahead.
This is not just Congress versus BJP. Yeah, this is not just Congress versus BJP. The problem is that as it is in this country, as you well know, politicians don't really have a very good public reputation. We are supposed to be generally venal, etc. And when people who are in positions of influence, that's just what I'm saying. This is not Congress versus BJP. This is across the stream. Everybody seems to think all politicians are irresponsible and venal and corrupt and absolutely don't give a, sorry for the language, but don't really care about the poor in this country. When you have 3 people who are in positions of such responsibility in the party that is today governing this country, come up with such ridiculously laughable and utterly contemptuous statements, what do you think the public is going to think about us? All of us are going to be tarred with the same brush, whether we actually are party to those statements or not. And please, let's remember one thing. Once you say something, you can apologize from here to kingdom come. It's said. You can't really take those words back. And the point also is that both Mr. Raj Babbar and everybody else, they are not really apologizing to the people whom they've insulted. They are just apologizing because their party is getting into trouble.
No, but they say that if they've caused any hurt to anybody, then that is, so Raj Babbar says his apology is genuine. He doesn't want to cause hurt to anybody.
Yeah, but that anybody can say.
All right. So basically, the point that you're saying is that, look, that's not good enough. Let me just,
you can say anything you
let me
want,
put that across to Jay Panda.
You.
Jay Panda, are we making too much of this entire? Yes, perhaps these comments may have been irresponsible. Is it time to move on and debate poverty, as we'll do in this debate, or should we just keep focusing on these remarks, which a lot of people say are utterly insensitive?
I just wanted to quickly say, Mr. Jha was pointing out about the UPA's policies and growth which have reduced poverty. I think I can't resist pointing out that if you look at the poverty reduction figures, the most significant reduction have happened in states that are not governed by the UPA. My state, Odisha, has had the single largest reduction, 25% in the last 9 years. The second biggest drop in poverty has been in the state of Bihar. So let's not make this political. Let's not talk about UPA versus other political parties.